Hi guys, we're going to be making a switch adapted little microphone. I really like these because they're really inexpensive, maybe less than $5. They have motivating music. This one plays Bob Moran. So we're gonna go ahead and get started and talk about everything you need today. All right, so besides needing your toy, of course, you're going to need your stereo extension cable to adapt it. If you go on the link on my Insta bio, AAC for All, you'll be able to find these for 69 cents. Wire stripper. You could also use a scissors. Screwdriver. There were only 3 screws we had to get into this toy, which was really easy. And then you need a switch to test out your toy in the end. And in order to connect your copper wires together, you'll either need electrical tape, a hot glue gun, or a soldering tool. Today I am going to be soldering it only because I cannot find my hot glue gun still. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is I always talk about locating the button on your toy that activates it. And so we're going to go ahead, and this is the button that activates it on the front. I'm going to go ahead and cut those wires. So now my toy will no longer activate because this button does not have any more wires connected to it. All right, so once we have these 2 blue wires or whatever color they might be, we need to strip them. The wire stripper will be too small for them. So what you're going to need to do is take your scissors or a thumbnail and just get from the, I don't know if it's plastic or whatever it is, the casing on it off. So I kind of pretend like I'm curling a ribbon, just gently pull up and you'll see a little bit of the copper is exposed. And then we're going to do that on the other side. It's okay if you cut some off, as long as you have some left. All right, so now both sides have the copper exposed on them. All right, so now we're going to take our stereo extension cable. You have a end with a jack, an end with a hole. We're going to use the end with the hole. You might just need, maybe for this one, 2-3 inches, not very much. You can always cut it down. The first thing I'm going to do is going to go ahead and strip my stereo extension cable about a 12. Pull up and twist, and you'll see you have 3 wires here. You have a yellow, red, and white. You only will need 2 of them. I always do red and white. Sometimes the yellow gives us a little bit of a problem. We're going to do the same thing, and if I'm going too fast, totally pause. I'm always running on a low battery and napping children. So we're going to take our scissors or our thumbnail and strip the top of these so we get that copper wire exposed. Let's give a little bit more. Whoops, and actually I just chopped mine off. Gotta be really careful. There we go. Copper. And then copper. Okay, so now you see I have 2 sides. This is gonna be a little hard to work with because I cut it down a little bit. So what I can do is just give myself some more wiggle room and just like that. So now I've exposed more of the wrap around the copper, and I'm just going to cut it down again. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to thread it through the back where you drilled your hole. So one other thing you'll need is probably a power drill. You thread it through, so that's what it would look like coming out of the back. And I'm gonna go ahead and secure it with my zip tie. This is a really big zip tie, but you can use smaller zip ties as well. And that way, if the switch wire does get pulled or whatever might happen, it is okay. Let's see if I can get it even down in there. And then I'll show y'all. Not a lot of real estate down there, but we'll just see what we can do. So now my wire is secured in there. Okay, let me make sure that still closes. Yeah, it'll still close. Okay, so now I'm just gonna clip it. and turn it. All right, so now what I get to do is I'm going to take my 2 wires from my toy and connect them to, 2 wires from my toy and connect them to the 2 wires of my stereo extension cable. So this is like, you literally take one side of the toy, one side of the stereo extension cable, and you just twist them together. I think getting the screws out, not losing the screws in this, these are the hardest parts because these little wires are so little and fine. And I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done. I'm gonna do this one first actually, because this is the farther away and the longer one. There we go. Twist them together. Sometimes I can like roll them between my fingers. Okay, now let's do the other side so you can see connected is not the best. There we go. Use my, and I'm gonna do this side. It's okay if things come out of place on the device, you can always put them back together. All right, so at this point, you want to make sure these wires stay nice and secure. So you can do a couple things. You can use your electrical tape, which is absolutely fine. You can solder them, which I'll do, or you can use hot glue. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get my soldering iron and show you what it looks like to solder the best I can with the distance, which has not been plugged in. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'll plug it in and you will go ahead and take your hot glue gun and glue these 2 wires together, glue these 2 wires together. When it's cooled, you'll put your toy back together and it will activate and work. If it doesn't work, change your batteries. Sometimes I feel like the batteries, something happens when I adapt these. And that is how you make a switch adapted microphone. So I'm gonna go plug in my my soldering tool, and that's the final step. You'll put everything back together, put the screws in, and message me and let me know if you've made one of these before.